Okay, so Kevin and Shannon, your first benefit is it's called the freedom of choice. Now, have either of you guys ever been on the financial side of planning a funeral?
Yeah. Yes, I have. My grandmother.
Oh, well, what happened?
She passed away. Thankfully, we did go, through everything that we wanted to do for her, but we did a cremation. It was a local funeral home that we've used before, but it we had to pay out of pocket.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. So you guys understand though that I mean it can be expensive.
Oh yeah, a
Yeah.
lot more than you would think for sure.
Yeah, like the average funeral right now is costing anywhere between like $14,000 and $15,000.
Uh-huh.
And most families don't understand how life insurance is handling funerals anymore.
Right.
Like it used to be, if you had $100,000 life insurance policy, you could take it down to the funeral home, and that would serve as collateral until that policy paid for that funeral.
Mm-hmm.
It's not working like that anymore, though.
Oh.
It used to be life insurance had 24 days to pay on your policy if something was to happen to you.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're able to hold on to those policies for up to 60 days, and I'm sure you guys can figure out why they're doing that.
Probably just trying to make money off our money.
Oh yeah, I mean it's the interest. They're making millions and millions of dollars off that interest from holding on to those policies. And what that's doing is it's causing families to get burdened with the out of pocket cost for the funeral.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also a group out of Texas. They're called SCI, Service Corp International.
Mm-hmm.
They're going around buying all the cemeteries, cremation centers, and funeral homes because in the end they want to be the Walmart of the funeral industry.
Really?
Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
it's a big industry.
Interesting.
And the reason that we actually bring that up is because their corporate policy is they want 50% down on the spot for that funeral.
Mm.
So I don't know about your guys' financial situation at this time, but most families I sit down with don't have $7,000 lying around for a funeral tomorrow.
That's probably true. I say we certainly don't.
And the ones that do, a lot comes after a funeral happens and such, and
Mm-hmm.
they don't want to have to use that money for that. They want to be able to use it for what they need to use it for. So that's why they came up with this. It's called the Freedom of Choice Certificate.
Okay.
And what this is, say, okay, we'll use Kevin here as an example. So, Shannon, if something was to happen to Kevin and he was taken away from you, what you would do is take this down to the funeral home,
Okay.
and you would go in and say he wanted a traditional funeral, like you mentioned earlier. You would go up to the desk and you would, negotiate the amount
Mm-hmm.
for that funeral, and you would
Mhm.
put your policy number. You would explain all, what Kevin wanted, how he wanted it, and then you would sign it, date it, and walk out of there without one out of pocket cost, as long as you keep Kevin's funeral under that $30,000.
Okay.
And Kevin, as long as you keep Shannon's funeral under $30,000, it would be the same for you, as long as you kept it traditional and it was under 30,000. Now, the reason that number is extremely important, that $30,000, is as soon as you walk out, it might not be that day, but that funeral director is going to call the number on the front. He's going to get our corporate office.
Right.
And he's going to have two questions. One, were you guys enrolled in the program? Two, he's going to ask, how much money did you guys have available for a funeral or a cremation?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if we were, or you were to go and tell them, you had $30,000 available, how much do you think that funeral or cremation is going to cost magically at that moment?
31,000.
Well, it's probably going to go for the 30,000 because they're going to try to use as much as you guys have available.
Right.
Now, it shouldn't work that way, and we don't let it work that way. What we ask is you guys never tell them that number, or if something was to happen to both of you, your beneficiary, who's going to be taking the same certificate down, never tells them that number. And we will never tell them that number at the same time.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Basically, there's two things that are going to happen. They're going to get the amount that you use, say, we'll go back to, say, something happened to Kevin Shannon. The amount that you negotiate for, they're going to send a check to the funeral home for that amount.
Okay.
They're going to also send another check that's going to come to you. Say the funeral was $14,000.
Okay.
So they're going to send a $14,000 check to that funeral home, and the other $16,000 is going to come directly to you and your family. And that's going to be for anything you need to use it for, because, this is going to be the hardest part of your whole life here. You just lost your partner.
Right.
I mean, it's the most easy, compassionate, clean way of being able to handle what's going to happen to all of us in the end. It's almost like a pre-arrangement. Have you guys ever heard of what those pre-arrangements?
Pre-arranged funeral, yes, I have heard of them before.
Ah, okay.
I have heard
So,
of it.
I mean,
I have too, yeah.
pre-arrangements, they're cool in aspect. They really are. I mean, they're helpful. But this is just like a pre-arrangement. The difference is this is permanent and portable. If you
Mhm.
guys ever were to move out of state, ever to even go to Canada, this is usable in U.S. and Canada. So you guys would have this with you at all times, no matter what state, and be able to use any funeral home you guys choose. With a pre-arrangement, you're locked into that one funeral home, and it's only good for the amount that you've paid into that right then and there. So, say if that funeral home was to close, you guys basically just lost your pre-arrangement for that funeral home.
Right.
Now, like I said, that would be if you guys were anywhere out in the U.S. or Canada. So, can you guys see why this is important?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Shannon, can you see why this is important that Kevin has this on you?
Yes.
And Kevin, you can also see why this is important that you have this on Shannon.
Mm-hmm.
So, why is that important to you guys for each other?
Well, geez, I don't want her to have to come up with money if something happens to me, or God forbid, what about the kids if something happened to both of us?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, this is going to take care of that. This is going to be there. So make sure if something did happen to both of you, your kids know you guys have this. Make sure that they know where it is. So, and then we're going to go on to this next section here. So, I'm not going to get you guys killed anymore. I'm just going to
Thank you.
get you guys hurt.
All right.
If it doesn't sound much worse, but so okay. So this first section here, this is your hospital supplements. This is actually why a lot of members do enroll.
Okay.
It's your living benefits, we call it.
Okay.
So say your guys' daughter was out back. She was playing in the tree set, or maybe you just built her a tree house, Kevin, and she was up in there, playing around. It's a couple feet off the ground, and she just barely fell out, and she might have twisted her ankle, and she comes in crying, and you're thinking her ankle's broke. Well, where are you guys probably going?
Emergency room.
Yeah, or urgent
Yeah.
care or something.
Right?
Yeah, for
And
sure.
you're probably going to end up having to leave work to go there.
Oh, yeah.
So, right there, you're going to have those hours you're missing from work. And if you guys are like me, you probably have a copay. So,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So what's your guys' copays roughly?
75 or $100.
So yeah.
250.
It is
Oh,
$250.
It's
Woo.
250.
Oh my God! See, you always pay
Oh.
that stuff, so
Yes,
I
I
didn't even know.
do. It is $250.
So if you guys are like me, $250 is $250, right?
Right.
So on that spot, so you got a $250 copay. You've also got your hours you guys missed at work. So
Mhm.
you're adding that also into there. So what this is going to do, is for every time that you have an accident, make sure it's an accident though. Can't be like, I got a cough or a little cold or something. But like, like I said, your daughter hurts her ankle. Or maybe, Kevin, you're out working on something, you step on a nail, goes
Mhm.
through your shoe. Or even an allergic reaction to a bee sting, anything like that. Yeah, so Shannon knows.
Yep.
So
That
what
one.
this is going to do is for every time you go to the hospital in the ER for an accident, it's going to pay you $300. Just make sure you go within 72 hours. That's
Okay.
all they ask about that. And it's going to pay you $300 for every time you guys go. And it's unlimited. So you guys can use this as many times as you need in a year. So if you were to go 3 times in a year, that's $900 in your guys' pocket. That's not going to your doctor, to your insurance, to the hospital. That's in your guys' pocket.
Mhm.
And you can probably admit, in that time with losing those, that $900 is going to help.
Oh, yes. Very much.
So, and then we go on to this next section. Now, this is your what we call the confined section.
Okay.
Say you're in a hospital for more than a day.
Okay.
So let me use an example. So say, Shane, you're baking cookies and I'm a dad, and say Kevin drank all the milk and didn't want to say anything to anybody. And
Way to go.
you're making
That can
cookies.
happen.
So, you need that milk right then. So you're like,
Right.
Kevin, you got to go down to the store. So Kevin's going down to the store, and some other, you know how drivers in this area are.
Yep.
Yep. So say some other guy, he's in a big old rush, comes whipping around a corner and T-bones Kevin. Well, Kevin's probably going to be ending up in the hospital.
Yeah.
So Kevin's in the hospital. We'll say 10 days for this. So for those 10 days, Kevin's not getting a paycheck, right?
Right.
And you're probably there with Kevin at that time because he needs you in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, the bills aren't going to stop, right?
No.
No. So what this section here does is for every day that you're confined in a hospital, like I said, you're staying overnight. So
Right.
it's confined. Some people can get that mixed up here and
Mhm.
there. So for up to 365 days, this is going to pay you $600 a day that you are confined in the hospital
Okay.
per occurrence. Now, that per occurrence part is really important because let's say Kevin gets out after that 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, by some rare chance, we hope it never would happen. But he ends up having another accident that puts him back in the hospital, confined for another period of time. So what this is going to do is,
Man, you're hurting me a lot, bro.
well, I
It's you,
mean,
not me, so we're good.
from what I heard earlier, you were the accident
That's
prone one.
probably right.
So,
Probably right. Yep.
so we had that in. So say what this is going to do, it's going to just restart paying that $600 a day again. That's why that per occurrence is so important because it doesn't matter how many times in a year, and as long as you guys have this, every time you're confined in the hospital, this is going to pay you guys $600 a day.
Okay.
So let's go back to that 10 days. So you're in there 10 days, Kevin. This is going to pay you $6,000 for those 10 days. And you guys can probably admit that $6,000 is going to be a huge help.
Yeah.
Because, like we talked about, the bills didn't stop.
Mm-hmm.
And this isn't going to your doctors, your insurance. Just like that 300, this is coming to you guys directly. And you guys can use that money for whatever you need to at that time.
Okay.
So let's say Kevin's accident was a bit worse.
Here we go again.
Well, you're the one that got in the
That's
accident.
true,
I'm
that's
just
true.
trying to. I'm just
Alright.
trying to run with the example, but.
Okay.
So let's say the accident was worse. You ended up in the ICU.
Mm-hmm.
So what this next part of the hospital supplements does is it pays you $1,200 a day that you're in intensive care as long as you're staying at the hospital in ICU for up to 14 days. Now, the reason it's 14 days and they cap it at that is because after 14 days, it's probably not looking like real good, and you might be using that $30,000 option for your freedom of
It's
choice.
possible, yeah.
All right, but you know it happens though.
Yeah.
There's people come out of it and they just, but you're still in the hospital, say. So you're not actually losing that benefit. All it's doing is reverting back to that $600 per day, up to 365 days, again.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, this section right here, you can get this at Aflac and stuff. I mean, you could, but it's going to be expensive. And you guys are getting that plus all this, your freedom of choice and everything that we've already covered. So, what I'm trying to say here is, basically, this section, why would that be important to you guys? Why would that help you guys and you guys think it'd be great to have?
Well, not only is Kevin accident prone, but our
no.
son Ty is very accident prone, and he's actually allergic to bug bites, and so we keep on having to go get checked by a doctor because they very quickly get infected or it gets worse, so we have to get it checked out by the doctor. So you mentioning the bee sting and allergic to that's huge because we have the copays that we have to pay for. And frankly, I see that whole section being used by Kevin and Ty. Not myself.
Oh, not you. You're the healthy one.
Yes, mostly.
So let's say here. So what it is you're getting that hospital supplement section, your freedom of choice that we went over, that child rider that you had on Ty, your accidental death and dismemberment benefit, and your guys' income's protected, all for that same $38.22. Literally, if you think about it, a price of a pizza a week.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really. So, which option works better for you guys? Option A or option B?
I personally want to go with option A. I prefer to get it all handled now and not worry about it later.
All right, she's in charge. Option A.
So, you know, the commitment you guys have made your family today is awesome. You guys protect your family. You guys took that unspoken fear of what if right off the table with the coverage you guys have gotten for your entire family.
Why, thank you.
I mean, it's great.
Good job, honey.
Oh, goodness. So, what that's why this next benefit is so important. It's one of the most important ones we have, and the part that I get to do. It is so, with the fact is we get asked all the time, why don't we make these benefits available to the general public? At these rates, we
Yeah,
could.
yeah.
We really could.
Yeah, they are good rates. For
But
sure.
this is exclusive to union and association members and invites for friends and family.
Okay.
So now, because you guys have made this commitment to your family today, you're actually able to pay these benefits forward to those closest to you. So they can get that same, the same union benefits you guys are able to get, like that tailor fit program and all those no cost benefits that you guys are able to get. So
Mhm.
you guys are actually able to extend out to up to two, four. So you guys actually will extend that up to four friends and family who are close. I mean, these guys could be, let's say, your church members, your friends and family, like we just said.
Mhm.
Somebody that just had a baby, somebody just bought a house. I mean, there's so many, almost anybody, neighbors. So what we'll do is I'll go ahead and write down the first family that you guys want to get sponsored, and I'll get their name.
Oh, my brother Skip.
Oh,
Yeah,
Skip.
for sure. He's gonna need this.
So is his
I'm
is his
telling you what,
name
he's more accident prone than I am.
is his name Skip or is that just a
No, his
nickname?
name is actually George.
George. Okay,
Yeah.
I just want to make sure. I mean, I'll write down. We'll make sure I put down on there. Call him
His name is-
Skip.
George Benson.
George Benson. Okay. Great. So the next thing they want me to do is okay. So what's your next name?
I don't know. You got one, Shannon?
Phil.
Phil.
He's lovely.
Oh, what's Phil's last name?
Kruger.
Kruger.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okie
That's
doke.
her side guy.
Oh. Uh-oh.
Gotta make sure he's protected too.
Yeah. So what are the next names? You guys still have two.
Well,
Ryan with him.
Ryan with
He's
them.
fairly accident prone.
oh yeah, for sure.
Oh.
And he drives a lot. Like he drives
Oh,
that
he
heck
does?
of a lot. Yes, he does.
Okay. So Ryan with them, and then one more.
Oh boy, let me think about this.
Even people that maybe like a real close best friend even.
Fred Johnson.
Fred Johnson. Okay.
He's a Kirby salesman.
Kirby salesman. Okay. Vacuums. I got
Yeah.
one. And there it is. Okie doke. So what they want me to do is now they want me to go over a unique story. Like I really want to get to know these guys before I reach out to them. So let me go back. So we'll go back to George. So what's a unique or just a funny story that you might have about your friend George?
Well, George, one time when we were younger, he went and grabbed an electric fence and
Grabbed an
realized he couldn't let go.
Okay, so
And
make
then-
sure I ask him about electric fences.
Oh yeah, and then my other brother grabbed him and he couldn't let go of him. It was like a chain of people holding onto an electric fence.
And you said George or Skip, right?
He ate the sharpest tool in the shed. I'll
Oh,
tell you.
So
But he needs the insurance for sure.
I can tell he obviously does. He's grabbing electric fences and
Yeah.
doing all kinds of funny stuff. So then, what's a unique story, Shane, you had for Phil? Go ahead.
He actually works in insurance himself, which he never wanted to do. So I don't know. He likes being outdoors.
Okie doke. So now, Kevin, we're just gonna step back to George real quick. What was George's address?
I don't know, but he lives in Elmira.
Elmira. I can write down the town. We'll roll with that.
Okay.
And then, what about a phone number for him?
607-555-2222.
Okay, is that his cell? Because
Yeah, that's his cell.
Oh, okay.
I don't know anybody's regular
You don't
number.
know his regular.
I don't know if anybody even has them anymore.
Okay. Now, Shannon, let's go back to Phil too. What's Phil's address, phone, and
he lives in Corning.
Corning? Okay.
Yep.
And what's his phone number?
His area code is actually 585
585
555
555
2121.
2121. Okay. Is that his cell phone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's assume you got all that.
Okay. So, the favor you guys are making for these guys is great. It's awesome. So, can I ask you guys a favor? Would you guys be able to text these guys and just give them a heads up that I'm going to contact them? Would you guys be able to do that?
100%. Yeah.
Great. Awesome. Okay. So, just let them know, that Anthony is going to be reaching out to him and that, he's awesome. I mean, you guys think I'm awesome, right?
Oh yeah, for
Toad's
sure.
awesome.
Great. So let's make sure we put that in there.
Yeah.
And then, make sure that they know I'm going to be reaching out to them and that they want to take the appointment. Because, I'm really busy with, like, other union members and stuff. But I'll make sure that I fit them into my schedule for sure. And you just want to let them know that this program is going to help their families just like it helped your guys's.
Okay.
Okay.